Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Quant Lab. Over the course of this chapter, we have completely deconstructed the mathematical mechanics of over 30 distinct quantitative tools. We mapped the footprint of volume, the smoothing of trends, the boundaries of volatility, and the execution of time. But having a massive toolkit is entirely different from knowing how to use it. If you attempt to overlay all 30 of these indicators onto a single chart, you will suffer from analysis paralysis. Your chart will be so cluttered with contradicting lines and colors that execution becomes impossible. Today, we are going to filter these charts into a single objective framework, the Quantitative Execution Matrix. The first rule of building your personal indicator stack is avoiding a fatal statistical error known as multicollinearity. If you put the RSI, the standard stochastic, and the Williams WVAD on the exact same chart, you do not have three independent votes to buy a stock. You simply have the exact same basic momentum math confirming itself three times. It is totally redundant. Instead, you must build an uncorrelated baseline. We recommend a foundation of five. You select at least one tool from each of the five distinct mathematical categories. One for volume and capital flow, one for trend smoothing, one for volatility and risk limits, one for spatial geometry, and one for momentum exhaustion. Now, 5 is just a minimum viable baseline, not a strict limit. Depending on your style, you may want to layer multiple indicators from the same category. For example, a professional might look at the MACD, the KDJ, and the DeMark 913 simultaneously. Why is this not redundant? Because it provides synergy. Even though they are all momentum tools, they measure completely different dimensions. The MACD measures the velocity of the macro trend. The KDJ pinpoints the immediate statistical extreme for a sniper entry, and the DeMark algorithm counts the time duration of the exhaustion. They evaluate the market from three completely independent mathematical angles. Whether your customized stack has 5, 7, or 8 tools, your daily trading must become a highly objective process of democratic confluence. You do not need absolute perfection across all indicators, but you need a distinct majority. If you look at a stock and 5 out of your 10, out of your 7 indicators align in the same direction, you execute the trade with confidence. But if the indicators are split down the middle or actively contradicting each other, the mathematical probability is too low. You veto the trade, sit on your hand, and wait for a clearer setup. To put this all into a practice, you must follow a rigid execution sequence during the afternoon golden window. You will audit your target stock through this exact four-tier hierarchy. Step 1. Macro breadth and risk. Is the broader market safe to trade? We check the VIX and the McLean oscillator. If the market is crashing, we stop here. Step 2, trend direction. Is the stock in an active trend? We check our moving average alignments or the Ichimoku cloud. Step 3, structural boundary. Is the stock pulling back to a logical support floor? We look for a Fibonacci retracement, a pivot point, or a Bollinger Band touch. Step 4, momentum trigger. Has the selling pressure finally exhausted? Here we look for our KDJ, Golden Cross, or DeMark 9 count. If the asset navigates this sequence and the majority of your personal stack flashes green, you execute the trade confidently before the 4 p.m. bell. Place your stop loss and let the math work. All right, to help you build your system, we have provided a master quantitative execution checklist in the appendix of the textbook. Here I provide the text code as well as this table. So you can print it out, keep it on your desk, and use it to strictly audit your setups. And again, you can basically pick the indicators which you trust most. Okay, so different people has different pool. That concludes our massive deep dive into the quantitative toolkit. In our next chapter, we will combine these indicators with raw candlestick price action. See you in the quant lab.